Yes, in continuation with my discussion on growth plan, I want to, show you something today that would help you a little, because I've been talking about, growth and, looking at your life and actually taking a grip of your life and saying, I want to move, I want to begin to see some success in my life, and but as I've been, talking with people and feedback that I got is, yes, I also like to grow in my life, but how? And here in this picture, if you're able to see my screen here, is what I find that a lot of people are saying, this is what I feel like. I have a lot of things that I need to deal with, and how do I get from this place of confusion to a place where I begin to enjoy my life, where I get to a point where I'm able to just relax and enjoy my life, when because I have all this other things that I need to deal with. Work is there, work is not gonna stop. I need to pay the bills. I have appointments, I take the children to school, I go to school myself, meetings here and there, my family, I just meeting all this, and I like to, be fit too, all these things are coming at me. How am I gonna be able to do all this? I have to be committed with my church, and not just that, I have to also help other people to grow. Come on, how am I gonna be able to do all this? And you kind of look at this like this lady that there's 1,001 things on your mind, and you're not even able to cope with it. Now, life is a gift that God has given to us, and we can take our life and begin to just stop where you are right now and see, how can I get to the point where I am right now, to a point where I relax and I enjoy this life as a gift, because we're here for a while, and tomorrow we're not. I mean, it's really sad when you listen to some of the news that are there. It's high time we start enjoying our lives, and because it's a gift, before you know it, it's gone. So I just have this tool that I personally use, that I'd like to share with you, in order to just declutter your mind and plan your day, plan your week, plan your life, and as you're doing that, it begins to help. And I know that a lot of people have done this. It's not a new thing that I'm introducing. I know a lot of people have notebooks that they carry around, and that they, every small idea that comes to their mind, they put it down. Brilliant, fantastic. If it's working, I want to encourage you that you continue to use that. Of course, you have to remember to remove it. If you decide to change bags, you have to remember to take your notebooks with you, and all those kind of things. So it becomes a little complicated. However, there is something that you already have right now, that which is the internet, your smartphones, your computers, all these things. You can use them to help you. Now, I hear every day, this nice app has come that you can use to manage your life. Oh, it's so good. You have all those great apps out there. Yes, they are very good. However, for me, I've not been able to find, many of the apps are good. I use them once in a while, but the one that I have really tested, that has really helped me, that I want to recommend to you, is using Google Doc. Very simple. Google Doc is something that I recently discovered. I've been using Google Doc now for almost 5 years. But it's recently I've been able to actually use it more efficiently, with my smartphones, my computer, and it's made life a lot easier. So what I did here is I just put on a spreadsheet. On a Google Doc, you can do a spreadsheet, and of course you need a Google account to be able to do that. And then what I did is I put from Monday to Sunday. Of course, Sunday is the beginning of the week, but I like to put it beside Saturday so I can see what's happening in my weekend together. And so I put a chart of the time. Now, if you look here now, what I will just do is I'll just put sleep Sleep is something that I do most of the times between 8 and 6 a.m. every day, and I can just block that out, like that. And usually I'm still I try to go to bed, by midnight. So I'm still gonna, but I mean, depending on you can just, put whatever time. And what I do is it helps me to see, okay, before it was just a blank canvas, but now I'm beginning to see it in a different way. It's beginning to block off, the times that I'm busy. Okay, the next thing that I do, for you, let's say you work 9 to 5 every day. So I'll just go there, I'll put 9 to, from 9 to 5 every day, I put work. Okay, and I can just block that off from Monday to Friday. For you, if you have different schedules, you can of course move it around. And now, of course, there are times in between that you can be doing this, some things here and there, but at this point I'm not looking at the details yet. I'm just looking at time off that I can be using to plan my life, because every you see, McDonald's began with somebody, Microsoft began with somebody, the book that you even YouTube that I'm using right now, it began with somebody. All this softwares that we all use, computers, it began with somebody. So if I continue to work for somebody, of course some of us are cut out to work with other people and maintain. We need maintainers, but people that maintain also, you can, maybe God has called you to do something. Maybe there's a book that somebody else is supposed to be reading right now that is still in your brain, and if you work 9 to 5 every day, and you don't spend time developing your own goals, your own purpose in life, life that is a gift will come and will go. And yes, you enjoy life, but there's nothing to pass on to the next generation. So it's very important to me that that you take something in your life and you begin to see, how can I invest in my time? How can I put some of my time to work towards my goal? So I still have a couple of time left that I can use to say I go to Bible study. I can say Bible study on Thursday every week. And so I can just block that off, that way. It's not a debate. If somebody is asking me, I mean, these are things that are very important to me. If somebody is asking, would you be able to come for this? I look at my schedule. There's no time there. On a Thursday night, I can't make it, or let's say it's a Sunday that I'm in church, I'm in church from 10 a.m. You just put church and block it off. There's no debate about that. It's just there. If it's something that you really love, block it off and control, what you do. And I mean, I'm sure there are some people in some part of the world that don't have the luxury, but if you have the luxury, why not just block it off? That's your identity. And then in the morning, let's say I wake up and do family devotion, and if you can of course break it down like you see here. I have 6 a.m. because I know that I'm gonna snooze my alarm clock, and here and there I just break that into 2. By 6:30 for sure I'm up, and I just say my devotion. I could put it there. If, for example, if you're one of those that have been finding it hard, you're wondering, how am I going to be able to spend time with God? If that's it, then you'll be able to schedule out time. And then of course after work you need trip home, depending on whether you're going to be driving or you're going to be on the metro. You can be using some of this trip home, trip to work time to do some work, some good thinking or reading or just developing yourself, and I would say you just block it off like that. So you could just say, I just put a small note down there, reading and listening to what podcast or something, whatever it is that you think would help you. Just put all sorts of notes, and as you do this, it helps you to see the chunk time that you have in between, that you can say, instead of watching, there's this show that I like watching on Monday nights, instead of watching that show, why don't I just block off an hour? Now, there's something that there's a quote, I forgot who said this, that if you can invest 1 hour every day into something that you are good at, you're soon gonna be a good person. You're soon gonna be sought out for that issue, for that thing. So I'd like you to, just take. You see, it's very easy. You can see a lot of hours there. Even though you feel like you don't have a lot of hours, you might be able to get 1 hour every week, or start with that, and then move it to 1 hour every day to spend time. If it's your personal devotion, spend time with God 1 hour every day and see what happens, and you begin to see some difference in your life. And the next thing that I put there is, what I'd like to do, like, for example, I might have grocery, so I put all these things, I need to buy all these things, I put them there. And at the end, after I've gone to the grocery, I can come back here and delete them. But if there are things that I always buy every week, I can just come and cross out the ones that I was able to buy, just cross it out like that, cross it out, and maybe I don't even need, rice this week. I just cross it out. And then, but the good thing about this is, when I go to the store, I don't need to remember. As long as it's on my list, I just pull out my smartphone. I don't even need a paper. Just pull out my smartphone, and I'm able to just pick it out, and I'm organized, so that's one very good thing, neat thing about this. And when I'm done next week, I need to do something again. I need to go to the grocery, or the next time I'm in the store, I know what do I need, what have I run out of, and the list is right there. It's very handy. If I need to talk to my mom, I put it there, and as soon as I'm done talking with her, I can cross it out, and then all these things, instead of putting them on a mental note, instead of clogging them in my mind, and continuing to be like that lady there, that is very confused, why don't I just put it on the to-do list that I'm always going to have. Most of us carry our cell phones everywhere we go, so your list is going to be there, and there might be a time you're waiting on the bus, or you're doing something, you can start continue writing something on Google Doc, so it's really good. And then if there are some things that I always like to do, say for example, I like to follow up with my friends, and every week send them a text message here and there, call them. I always like to put that there this week, so that I can always plan through and see, have I called any of my friends this week? I put it there. If it's something, if say for example, you like to write songs, write songs, you just say, once every week I like to at least visit it. Even if I don't eventually write something, I just put it there, and think about it. I put it there and think about it. And if it's something that is in the month, maybe it's just do a good a good clean of my house, like a very good thorough cleaning of my house. I put it there, so that once a month I always go back and follow up on that. And if it's a year thing, of course, you put it there. Another thing that I put there is 5-year goals. Many of us, if you ask people, what are you doing in the next 5 years, I don't know. But if you have a document that you can always put things on, I mean, for me, I've written things in the past that I can't even pick up. I don't even know where the book is. But if you put in a Google document, you can always open it up and see, oh, this is how I used to think 5 years ago, or even long term, 20 years from now, what would I really desire to have achieved, So you put all that there, and in all, the goal of all this is so that you begin to see some new growth in different areas. You declutter your mind. It just gets rid of all the stress that is there. It's like you hire the technology to work as an assistant for you. Many of us might not be able to hire somebody to work for you full time, that organizes your schedule and does all these things for you, but you can hire the one that you're already paying. You're already paying for your phone, you're already paying for your internet, you're already paying for your computer. Why don't you just use them, hire them, and let them work for you? And you see that life will be a lot more simpler, and you will be like that lady that is able to just sit back and enjoy life. Just let it. Another thing is, you don't have to remember so many things. You program it into your smartphone, and it reminds you of the things that you need to do, and makes life a lot easier. So that's what I'd like to discuss with you, and I'd like to remind you never to give up. Don't give up. You might try it and it won't work at first, but don't give up. Just keep trying. Yeah, at first, because you're not used to it, it might take a while, but then after a while, you start learning the habits are something that you need to practice a couple of times before you're actually able to succeed in actually making it a habit. So you have to keep trying, and before you know it, you're also a pro. Imagine doing that thing that you really like, to see growth in. Imagine spending an hour on it every day and seeing how professional you're going to look in 10 years from now. You might look as if, yeah, it's just me. To you, you're just saying it's just me playing around, but you don't know the impact that's going to have on somebody else. I don't know who's going to be watching this video 10 years from now. So I just like to remind you that it's very important that if you want to see yourself as a success in 10 years time, you need to invest the time in your life today. You need to, if you want to relax 10 years time, if you want to take time to just enjoy life in 10 years time, you better start planning today. And I really want to say thank you for taking time to watch this, and I hope you've been inspired to do some planning in your life. Use Google Doc. Google Doc is not paying me for this, but I'm sure it's blessing me. It's gonna pay you as well. God bless. Bye bye.